for a lot of, I mean, it's just the information. So much information out there.
Quality Life Podcast. This is episode 32. What's going on, fellas?
Man, you know, this your boy Rod T, the place to be. We got a special guest on the pod tonight, man. Yes, Mr. Natrix Davis. How you doing, brother?
Hey, what's going on? How are you brothers doing tonight?
Man, we doing good.
We're doing good, man. How about yourself? You just said you just made it into LA, so you was just on some flights and had some issues
man.
Going on.
It was an adventure, yo. It was a straight adventure. You know what? It's like, you know, people say everything that can go wrong probably went wrong. But right. You know what, though? It was worth the trip in the sense of it was the journey.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the attitude, keeping the positive, because you know what? It was out of my control. So what's the purpose of really stressing? You know what I mean? Right. And there's a solution. So I just kind of was like, kind of roll with the punches, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Make lemonade out of lemons, huh, my brother?
Bro, and add a little sugar. I'm great.
Right.
It's good,
like
bro.
That.
Yeah.
Okay, so for what you guys don't understand, what we have tonight, we got Mr. Natrix Davis, and we are going to be talking a little bit about the ADOS movement. You know, that's I'm gonna let Mr. Davis go in and kind of give his explanation. But before we start talking about the ADOS movement, we're gonna do a little house cleaning first. This is a segment that Rod T kind of introduced to the podcast. So Rod, go ahead and start off with your house cleaning, bro.
You know, I definitely gotta, you know, when the house cleaning segment, Mr. Davis, is we just show love to people that's been in our corner that's rocking with us and you know, supporting us, you know. So, you know, Troy, Denise, my boy Don Dada, man, shout out to y'all. And you know, the ladies out there, y'all looking to get something going, you know, get a nice little outfit, you know, you hit up TroyDenise.com. That's TROYA Denise.com. She'll take care of y'all. You know, my uncle Jason T got the Very Opinionated Show with Maximilian and the Gorgeous Snow. They've been on a little hiatus for a little bit, but they say they're gonna come back strong. Hopefully, you know, Natrix, you come on to that show too. You know, when we set that up, you know, you know, my boys Dylan and JC, man. JC, he definitely want me to shout out his younger brother, man. Shout out to Lonnie. It's his birthday today. You know, turning 28. So happy birthday, brother. You know what I mean? When you check this out,
brother.
Man, big ups to you.
Happy birthday. Feliz cumpleaños.
And you know, my last one, Dre Day, my boy Pat and Smiley Face, man. You know, and we, you know, and everybody else that's rocking with us, and you know, special shout out to JC Davis, you know what I'm saying? She the one that set this up, you know what I mean? And for her, Miss Nations wouldn't even been on this pod. So appreciate you, you know what I mean? You know, we just, you know, trying to bring more eyes to the pod and talk about what's going on with us as a people, you know. And we very honored to have you on the show today, brother.
Yeah. So my house cleaning is just simple. Mr. Natrix, thanks for being on the show, man. You could have been anywhere else. You could have been on any other show, but you're here with us.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, he's actually an established author as well. So we're gonna get into that a little bit later in the show. And he's very, very informative and knowledgeable on the ADOS movement. I'm not telling y'all that he know everything.
But
what I'm saying is he may know some things that y'all probably haven't know, or he may have a perspective that y'all haven't looked at this movement in alignment with. So that's my house cleaning for the night. You got anybody else you would like to pay any respects to, anything, Mr. Davis?
Yeah, I would like to shout out to all the people out there who have supported the Peanut Butter and Jam brand, all the fans, all the customers. I mean, just everybody. Mad love to everybody. You know, the books are selling. It's because of you I'm where I'm at in this point in my life and my career with the books. Please check out, share, click. I tell people all the time, it costs you no monies to click and to share and subscribe. Again, it's about getting out. It's for the kids. I'll tell you, it's for the kids. Do it for the kids. Right. Do it for the children.
Yeah. The children are our future, huh, brother?
They are the future. Yes, they are the future.
Very true.
Most definitely.
Very true.
So with that being said, let's jump right in. Let's jump right into this thing. Let's jump right into this thing. We're talking about the ADOS movement. And for those who don't know, I did not want that to click up this shit. For those who don't know, ADOS is the American Descendants of Slavery. So let me know, like, how did you become hip of the movement, and what really stood out about this movement that really just caught your attention and then got you locked in?
Well, to be honest with you, the information is kind of like, being a black male, being a black man in America, and being black in America, there's a lot of stuff we've been dealing with. And what people don't realize is that, like in other cultures, just like other cultures not flat, being black is not flat in America. Being black in America consists of, ADOS, which are American descendants of slaves, as well as other immigrants who come from other countries who identify as black. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you think of that, it's kind of like this whole idea of, well, there's 400 plus years of atrocities that have been committed against a certain group of black people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is the descendants of slave. Slave 400 years, and we don't have to go into a lot of detail about it, but 400 plus years of slavery, Jim Crow. I mean, just all type of things that were done to basically bottom cast us. So you think about, how can I put this, the history of how we've been treated and how things have happened to us. And there's a debt that's owed. Bottom line, there's a debt that's owed. Everybody goes back to the 40 acres a mule, after slavery, freedmen. Hey, look, we're going to do this for you. And we go take care of you for, the years of slavery, 200 plus years of slavery, free labor, bottom line. Okay. Well, we all know their promise was not fulfilled for us. Now, for certain slave owners, they were paid reparations for loss of property, because, again, we were property. Again, this is history. These are things that, you can go and check out, look up in history, that they're trying to keep out the history books. As far as opportunities,
you said they paid the slave owners. That's what you said.
Some slave owners receive reparations for loss of property. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, you have. Yeah, most definitely. And just I'm gonna say, get back in that. But what people don't realize when you think about slavery, you think about the South. No, sir. The North would pay the South. They would lease out the slaves to help, like the capital stuff. That stuff was good. There are a lot. I want to say it's Georgetown or somewhere. Some of the Ivy League colleges were built by slave labor.
Right.
Oh, wow.
You see what I mean?
Right.
So it wasn't just this whole, the South is bad. And just let everybody know, ending slavery wasn't about, we have to free us. It was about money. Bottom line, the whole thing, it was about money.
It was about money.
Bottom line. The South was coming, the South was a powerhouse. Again, history, go check it out. You know what I mean? These are all things that are out there that you can actually look up. So anyway, with the ADOS movement, it's like, well, you owe the debt. So it's kind of like, well, how do you distinguish who is on? Because again, you have black is not flat. It encompasses different groups.
Yeah.
You have those of us whose ancestors were brought over here by force, and you have others who, to use some of the words of Antonio Moore and Yvette Carnell, came over here on an airplane. You see what I mean? And don't even understand that the struggles of our ancestors were predicated or allowed for them to come over. You know what I mean? Because you had, I think it was the Immigration Act of 1965. That in itself is what kind of helped allowed for other groups to come over here. And that's just not just blacks, it's like a lot of other groups as well. So saying all that, doing some history, looking at my family, because I have family. There's my family, at least on my dad's side, originally, they're from like Egypt and Warden, Texas. Well, I have ties to that slavery out there. I've going into my history of my family and finding out all the atrocities that have been committed against me, and talking to my grandmother and just the stories. It's like, man, this is crazy. It's like, I had a grandfather who fought in World War II. And, you think about a lot of times we join the services, we join things like that because we want a better life for ourselves. So you go join the military, you get your house, get the GI Bill. Well, a lot of our soldiers were denied that. A lot of our soldiers, hell, my grandfather's one of them that didn't get the benefits of it.
Wow.
And he got shot up in World War II.
Right.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, or what they were going to, or giving a portion of it. So those are all things that, but anyway, going back, segue into ADS. So understanding all that about my family and things like that, I said, hey, I really want to, because it's a death. Oh, and what can I do? So I discovered maybe about a few years ago, officially, as far as discovering and giving it a name. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I always classify myself as, having that connection to slavery and descendants and things like that. But Adolf, Yvette Carnell, and Antonio Moore. And what happened is I've been following them and everything, and they create the ADOS Foundation. Advocacy. I'm sorry, ADOS Advocacy Foundation. We can find it at adosfoundation.org. Yeah, and check it out. And it talks about reparations. Because again, people talking about, well, it's a debt. Oh, reparations. Well, how much is it? And this and that. And they've done studies and they know how much it is. They know what approximately what it is and what it consists of. And so, just reading and listening and listening to different sources and just basically getting my information up. And that's honestly what I did. And I just encourage everybody to do. Just kind of know who you are. Know you used to.
Before you go any further, you said they've done studies.
They have studies.
They done studies.
And it wasn't them.
Just the government itself.
Yeah, the government knows exactly how, like, I don't know exactly what the effects were. As a matter of fact, the thing is that, again, Antonio Moore, he did a video and he had them put out the numbers and how the numbers were being counted, because they wasn't even counting necessarily what was happening to us specifically, because you need specificity. Right. Okay. I can't come in like reparations are not owed in America, are not owed Nigerians, are not owed Caribbeans, are not owed other groups outside of the American descendants of slavery. Well, you have to classify yourself as a group. Okay, we have to be classified as a group. We need to have on the U.S. Census. Hey, you got black, not black. We need to have a category for ADOS. That's the bottom line, because we are our own group. It is our lineage that's connected to this. You know what I mean? Again, all this information, Antonio Moore, Yvette Carnell, I mean, most definitely educated brother and sister, most definitely. As a matter of fact, they even have a convention coming up in October in Kentucky.
What's up? What do they just get a whole bunch of people together and
check out. Okay. I mean, I think you can go online and check out the last convention. But they talk. I mean, they give an overview about everything and just what you can do. I think this year is like basically what can you do? How can you participate and really spread this? Not just think like people can participate. You know what I mean? Everybody participates differently. Yeah. Everyone doesn't have to be in the streets. You know what I mean? Right. There are many ways you can participate. I was having a conversation with a brother a few days ago, and we're just talking about it. And he was like, yeah, but if I want to participate and look it up, but what about my family? Don't I have to feed my family? I mean, I don't want to endanger my family. I'm like, bro, there is more. You can adapt to your situation. There are more ways to fight a fight, you know what I mean, than just necessarily physically. And that's kind of, we getting the white supremacy and the system white supremacy, and how it has continued to bottom cast us, has continued to oppress us. Hell yeah, for you out there don't understand, yes, you are still being oppressed. Okay, don't think it's not happening. You got a nice job, and trust me, you still being oppressed. Your little piece of supply is very minuscule.
Like a crumb, huh?
And most definitely, because you think about it, it's about the kids and it's about generating wealth. And honestly, we really don't have wealth in our community. I mean, this is real talk.
Oh, we really
very true.
And a lot of us don't understand.
We don't.
Yeah, they don't understand that. We don't. I mean, it's good that you have a nice car. Just understanding money. The use of money, how money is used, how power is used, how to even get that. A lot of us don't even get it. We think that, because I have a nice car, I have a big house, or I have all these things that, you know, I'm somebody that I'm like, nah, that's not really it. You know what I mean?
You know, because I've heard, you know, other people talk about it, and let's just say the detractors of it, they'll be like, well, you know, I got what I got by hard work and you know, pulling myself up by my boots and learning and all of that. What would you say to those people? Because I'm pretty sure you've heard it.
What I would tell them is that you obviously didn't listen to the great Martin Luther King Jr. when he stated, okay, and he talked about the bootstraps and talked about how do you pull yourself by bootstraps when you don't have any straps for your boot, okay? And it is one of the things where I get looking at, I did mine, but did you though? You know what I mean? But did you really do it by yourself? But did you though? Because you talk about the opportunity. Well, look at the gatekeepers. Look who's running stuff. Okay. Regardless of what you say, you did, I did it myself. Did you, or were you allowed to do it? And you're only allowed to go so far sometimes as well. Because sometimes what happens is that people would allow you to be okay as long as you don't in some way, sort of fashion, surpass them.
That's true.
Okay. You cool as long as you're not doing better than me.
Yeah.
Okay, you cool as long as you don't make me look bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't go past a certain point, huh?
No, sir. You have to. You have to have that out there. I mean, you're gonna always have people out there who are gonna do good. I mean, like a lot of times people look up to like celebrities and things like that, and I always think to myself, I'm like, you know, and then listening, it's like, okay, well, yeah, you're a celebrity, but are you really fighting the same fight now? You know, you had celebrities out there like, you know, Muhammad Ali was like, nah, man, you know, if you go back, listen to some of the stuff Muhammad Ali was talking about, even as a celebrity, he was like, but I still understand my group, my people it ain't like it need to be.
Definitely.
You still out here trying to kill him.
He definitely one of a kind,
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, well, absolutely.
Yeah, well, you had your Dick Gregory's out there too. I love Paul Mooney. Paul Mooney, that's why when Paul Mooney died, I was like, and Dick, I was hurt because those men never ever stopped talking about what they were talking about, ever. It was always about, hey, this was going on. Hey, this is how white people are. This is how people are doing you. You know what I mean? You have to understand it. And
you know, when I think about it, I hate cutting you off. You know, when I think about it, Paul Mooney and Dick Gregory, you know, Muhammad Ali, definitely, he was, everybody knew about him, but like those two brothers was very under the radar. You know, you were, you know, they weren't really pushed like other celebrities was, you know, other comedians and, you know, and of that field. You know, thinking about what you're saying, you can only get to a certain point. And, you know, like you said, when you pull yourself up by your straps, well, the other people are allowed to, let's just say, flourish and shine more than people that like them, because they, you know, they spoke some real stuff, brother. You know what I mean?
No, but hold on. Let me retract on that. You gotta understand, the late great Dick Gregory ran for president of the United States. Not many black folks are doing that.
That's true.
So
that's true.
You can name your NFL stars, your NBA stars, your singers, your athletes, your actors. For him to talk how he talked and he ran for president.
Yeah, that's true.
He should have been. He should have been taken out a long time ago.
Yeah, you know? and as far as we know, they might have tried to.
They might have tried a few times. So with him still being free at the tongue, that goes to show you that a lot of these people could be free at the tongue if they want to. Because I get it. I get, you know, you in these specific leagues and you in these specific quote unquote fraternities, whatever they want to call them, these little different sectors of life where you one of the prominent, you know, African Americans of this country. Right. But how long are you going to allow them to keep the muzzle over your mouth for the money?
And you know? that's most of it.
Go ahead.
You have a point. No, you have a point. It kind of goes back to what I said when I was having the conversation, referring back to the conversation I had with a good friend of mine, you know, his whole thing was like,
Right.
I mean, I got a family. I mean, you know, you'll hear this, why are we fighting for something that's overdue? If they haven't done it already, what makes you think they're gonna do it now? What makes you think, oh, why are you begging? I'm like, bro, it ain't got nothing to do with that. Or, you know, focus on moving forward. Like I was talking to one brother and he made a comment. He was like, well, something that, why not, I guess what he was saying, just have it to where a part of it is just relieving student debt or student loans. I'm like, but that's just one segment, and most of the student debt is not owned by Black people.
That's true.
Exactly.
You see what I mean? I mean, you can look at the numbers. It's not most of us.
It's exactly just based on the census numbers. If we want to do the breakdown, even though we know it's not like itemized to a T, but let's okay. We're that we've been over that 13% in this country.
Right.
At 13%, how many of us you think really going to college and finish? So
I mean,
taking away student debt is really not. It's a great start, but it's not.
Right.
No, we need more than taking away student debt. Oh, you know, we need more than that. You know,
we need protections, and this is why, like I said, with looking at the 8.5, I mean, it's about protections, man. We need protections because even people say, okay, well, you know, I mean, okay, this is my patronizing voice I'm using right here. Okay, you know, if we give them money and all they're gonna do is give it right back. That's all they're gonna do, and I'm like, that's why you got to have protections in place. That's why you have to have that stuff in place. There are things that need to be in place. I mean, the Native Americans have it.
Right.
They're designated as a group. As a matter of fact, I was reading a story, and when they were doing I guess it was the COVID vaccine, they were doing something or test, and I might be a miss, but if they were denying Black people who were part of the nation or Native American nation because they were basically saying they weren't part of the tribe. So because you're not part of the tribe, you can't take advantage of this.
Wow.
And they were denying that. Right. Wow. That was a story. That was a story out there. You know, you think there was another story where in Harvard, and again, you can check it out as a young lady, Harvard was using her ancestors' pictures or something, and they were enslaved. And she was basically, I think she was trying to get them to compensate her or to, you know, give her the stuff back. And they were, and went to a judge, and the judge was like, nah, you know, because allegedly during that period, the way it was written, it was along the lines of they had to have told them within a time frame that they couldn't do that. But I'm like, you can't do that because you were property. You weren't even a person. So what are you talking about? So I think she's appealing.
Yeah.
You know, it's just different things when you look at this system, how things are written. It's like, man, are you serious? And then some of the justification for it, and it's just like, seriously? You know what I mean? But it can make you angry. It can, and I guess you should be angry, but that should encourage you to do even more,
right? To
uplift us and to help us out, help the group as a whole. Personally, that's how I look at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Because you have people who and what I like to tell people is you have to understand. Yes, life is an individual race at times, and it's a collective race at times.
Yeah,
you know, you have to understand that. And yes, because you are individually doing good, you know, you're individually doing great. Yeah, you went and got your degree. Yeah, you got a nice job. Yeah, you found some nepotism somewhere. Yeah, you live in a nice neighborhood. Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's fine. But like you said, when it comes to protections, what happened when you're individually doing good and you have no protections to protect you?
Exactly. You have to, like, it's kind of like you say, you have to watch what you say. I mean, you think about this. So you just look at the Olympics right now and how they were saying that basically we don't want anybody protesting at the Olympics. You know, I'll be honest with you. And I was thinking about it to myself. I was like, you know what? If I was a Black Olympian, I would boycott. You know what? Just all Black Olympian. Just don't go.
Don't even
just
show
stop. Yeah, don't even show up because it's one of those things where it's like you're representing a country that in all actuality doesn't even really consider you a full human being.
Right.
With all the protections and everything. So why do it? Oh, okay, because there's money involved. You get
Money.
people don't know that. You receive depending on goals, and there are financial incentives for getting gold, silver, bronzes. And just to talk about that, I didn't realize that they were paying the accomplishments of the ably bodied people versus the Paralympics Olympians. That there was a difference in pay on how they achieved. So they getting it now where the Paralympians are going to be making the same amount, are going to get the same incentives as the regular Olympians.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Bro, did not know that. I was like, wow. Capitalism at its finest.
Yeah, true.
Well, yeah.
True.
It's at the end of it, it's going all the dollar.
Yeah.
Like they say, man, it's about the dollar and educating a certain group. It's about a dollar and keeping a certain group ignorant. You know,
right?
That's at the end of the day, it's about the dollar bill. So, with the ADOS movement, most people I know who even knows that any slightest thing about the ADOS movement, it's pretty much just it's about reparations. It's about reparations. It's about reparations.
I mean, it's part of reparations.
Yeah. It's mainly part. No,
go ahead. I'm listening.
You got it, bro.
So, the movement is predominantly that was their focal point, was predominantly about reparations at first. Because I mean, when you look at us as African American civilly, like we got so many struggles that we need to we need to itemize and get taken care of. But like a lot of people say, you know, it's hard to conquer these issues when we don't have the financial backing. So reparations will be looked at as the focal point. Because it's hard to fight without money.
And power, yes, money and power. Yeah, you most definitely correct. When I think about reparations, things like that, you know, the protections and everything, it's like, okay, because it gives you options. It gives you options. Even going back to what people say, you know, with black folks, I don't know if you ever watched the Dave Chappelle show. Did you ever see the Dave Chappelle show?
Oh yeah.
When they gave the reparations, they did this.
By the Escalades. Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah. And you're gonna always have people who are gonna do that. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, you had it on both sides. People got money, they go out there and they floss in it. Because we live in a society not based on who you are or your worth on who you are, but on what you have, materialism. And that's done for a reason. That's done for a reason to keep you out there running and buying and consume.
Exactly.
Consumerism. Okay. That's done by design. I get it by the powers that be. I get that. I understand it in real talk. So yeah, you're right. You will get those, but you'll get those other ones out. What about those other ones out there who are not going to take their money? They're going to take the money and they're going to invest. They're going to empower the groups. They're going to go out there and quit. Because here's the deal. Let's say you get this money, whatever. Now you're saying, hey, okay, now I got this money. Now I'm going to go out and buy this land. Well, as a landowner, I don't have to necessarily sell that money to you. I mean, sell that land to you, or I can sell it for a higher price.
Yes.
Which means that now I can get that money back. So the key is what protections do we need, or what do we have? Government protections that's going to allow for someone not to do that. You know what I mean? The land and stuff that was promised us. Hey, you know, hey, it's time to get out. Hey, get you a map, like you cut up this land when you was giving it out to everybody else, and you was trying to create the states. Hey, you need to handle that segment, because without us and without our labor, there is no financial powerhouse as the United States. Real talk.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay. When you look at the concept of redlining, right?
Oh yeah.
Now, what's your ideal of redlining?
What's my idea? I mean, you know, they took an area. I mean, the history of it. Right. They took an area. They're like, hey, okay, they're gonna draw these areas right here. Okay, these are areas are gonna be basically they what is it called? They priced out the land based on who was in the area. Okay, low end, this land's not considered good development if they put all the color people, whatever, and white people was higher value, higher land, and they even had the idea where you couldn't move in certain areas. You had to pay double. You had to get intermediary to get a house. I mean, it's just crazy, yo. I mean, it's like and again, these are all things that you can do and you can look up. You know what I mean? It was just a process of just keeping us oppressed. It's just another way of oppressing us, man.
Like you say, not letting us get past a certain point.
Well, see, I brought up redlining.
Right.
Because I always tell people, it's funny how when we ask for our own, they forget the concept of redlining and how they would give us our own, that what they want us to have.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So
well,
it's like.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm listening. Go ahead.
You got it. No. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, when you talking about redline, I mean, you think about it. I mean, it's like where I live at. I've looked at neighborhoods. I don't know if you guys grew up, but growing up in Houston, the third ward, the different wards, things like that. And I'm looking at them, and I'm looking at the gentrification, everything that's going on. And it's like, a lot of places, the crime rate used to be high. It's kind of like, is this by design? You see what I mean?
The first thing that comes to my mind when you say that is the heights. How it was when we was coming up and how it is now. Night and day. You know what I mean?
It is night and day. My grandmother used to live out there. Yeah. And it's crazy because I live near the area, and seeing how it has changed in over the past 10, 15 years, it's like, wow. And watching, it's kind of like, wow. And you knew about the crime rates out there. You knew about that kind of stuff. It's like, so you're gonna let this happen for real? Yeah. Driving through, I did a show I did a function at Hartsfield Elementary, and I came from the other side, coming up Spur 5, going up to MLK, and I didn't realize, because I hadn't been over there in a while, I didn't realize how much they had built up the MLK area.
Oh yeah,
I did not realize.
It's looking way better than what it did.
Yeah, it is.
It is real nice. And to see the population versus growing up, and my grandmother going to my grandmother's house, and still, still a couple of houses over there, but just seeing the differences, it's like, they're getting rid of y'all. Hell, the Hiram Clark area, south. I mean, over there. You look over there.
They're buying out those places and turning them into duplexes like this.
Yeah,
developers. And the taxes. A lot of
gentrification is heavy, just like third ward.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, and even though third ward still has some money in it, but you look at some of the places they bought out, and a thing of this, it's like you think to yourself, when you think of houses and being able to pass homes down to the family, that in itself is a form of wealth. Being able to take a home, being able to pass it down, because I don't have to go out and buy a home. So that's a form of passing wealth down. Yeah. And when you got somebody that's living in the neighborhood, and it's like, again, we have this idea of consumerism. It's like, well, I can make this quick lick right here, take this money, like that. I'll come in, I buy this, we'll give you this money for this house. So now you can get you 500, not even 500,000. I'm gonna say 250 for a house. Okay, here, take this house, sell out. Right. Now you gotta take the money that you received and go buy you another house.
Buy another house.
So now you got another 30-year, 40-year loan. Versus in your mama house who gave it to you, it was already paid off.
Already paid off. Yep.
You know what I mean? So that's equity. You know what I mean?
Yes. But
we don't.
I'm sorry, boss, but I think we made a couple episodes. I think a couple of episodes back, we touched on that. We touched on, like, we talking about athletes and stuff, and what we're taught in schools, as opposed to what we should be taught. You know what I mean? Because like you say, we're taught our consumerism is passed down and it's really like glorified to us instead of money management, finance. Compound interest. Knowing how money works, and mutual funds and stuff like that. What we should be learning. You know what I mean? But we're learning, like you say, what's the best days? What color? You got it. Go ahead, bro.
No, like you said, you got to think about it, man. It's all by design, because it's the number one. They knew when they was going to start allowing us to be involved in the fund where the money is generated. The first thing discussed on the ballot was, we just got to figure out a way that they're going to give that money right back to us.
Exactly.
We have to teach. We have to teach them how to give it back to us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We can't teach them how to keep it. You know what I'm saying? We can't teach them how to flip it. We can't teach them how to invest. We got to teach them how to give it right back to us.
Exactly.
So like those guys was like, well, you know, it's okay. Let a couple of them be millionaires. Just as long as they give it back to us.
Give it right back to us.
You know? As long as they give it right back to us.
Well, or going back to what you said, you think about this too. It's like, okay, you think about some of these athletes, like how do you go out there and you're a football, basketball, somebody player, and you're making all this money.
Yeah.
And you're out here doing stuff. You start there in the streets. Why? Why are you doing it?
Right.
Why?
Right.
Well, so think of it this way. Going back to the music industry. A lot, you know how much music was stolen from us, and again, this is just the history. But just going to it, you had these producers, and they had the power. They had the ins and outs to go out and to make the money and to get you out there. So you had to go to these labels. You had to do that kind of stuff because we don't have, I guess, not even the capital, but just the power within those industries, because those industries are not dominated by us. They're dominated by us as far as entertainment and generating revenue for those who control it. Right. And you know, the labor class, and one good thing I can say is I'm seeing more and more, you know, business owners and entrepreneurs out there that are really trying to, and if anything, this COVID pandemic has really shown or opened the eyes of a lot of people. They've opened up those out there who felt safe, who felt that, you know, this is fine, you know, I don't need to get involved. This is cool. This is cool. This is cool. And it's like, it's not so cool.
Yeah.
So that's good too.
But yeah, so it can turn against you in a second. You know.
Most definitely. You have to understand. You really have to understand, you know, how things work. And I'm still learning. I mean, because I want to learn. I want to know more. So I'm looking at all, you know, different types of information that's out there, because it's not about me. It's about my kids and my kids' kids, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And it starts with me. Being a parent, being a father, it starts with me. And so, I have to, you know, I'm gonna do, as any parent, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do the best I can for my son. So
definitely. I agree with that.
So it's information, man. Just we gotta share. We got to share. We got to have these conversations, and you know, just really look out there, get the information out there. And because again, everything that I'm talking about, this is not just coming off the top of my head like, oh yeah, he's just an amazing person. It's like, I'm listening, I'm looking, I'm reading, I'm researching, and trying to share as much as I can. I mean, even with my books, you know, imagery, which whenever you're ready to talk about those, talk about that too.
Definitely.
But you know, just the imagery.
I think Messiah Boss was alluding to it earlier. I think you're saying, aside from reparations, what would be another bullet point or a staple of the ADOS movement?
Well, like I was reading earlier, it says when you look them up, it's like the ADOS movement focuses mainly on demanding reparations for the slavery in the United States. They push colleges and employees and the federal government to prioritize ADOS and acknowledge that affirmative action policies originally designed to help ADOS have been used largely to benefit other groups. So it's simple. Like everything for us always gets everything quote unquote for us always gets used somewhere else.
Yes,
you know, it's like, okay, we hear what y'all saying. We got a plan in play, and then they put it in play for another group of people, and they get their reparations or the stuff that they're entitled to, and then it's like, whoa. So we know it's working, and we know y'all have the funds to give. So how y'all just keep hopping over us?
Yeah. Okay.
Right. And unfortunately, you know, you have other groups like when I said, you don't have to be white to be a tool of white supremacy. Bottom line, you know what I mean. You don't have to be white to be a tool. I mean, it's a system, and it's unfortunate because you would think that when other groups would come here, they would align with our struggle, because it's like, I mean, you see what's going on, you know what's going on, and it's one of those things where it's kind of like, how can I use? What could be a good example? It's kind of like some people aren't concerned about something until it affects them.
Yes.
And we've always, as Black people, we've always, you know, supported group. We try to do the thing that's morally correct. You know, it's about the love and the emotion. And hey, you know, that's not right. We gonna help you. That we should do this. And you've had other people from groups, other people who have joined in, but as groups, as wholes, for the right, nah, you know, I mean, nah. You know, you have individuals that are like, yeah, you know, I'm down. This is going like. You know, we talking about the 60s and what's going on in the South and everything. It really didn't get a whole lot of pub until a couple of white dudes got killed. Yeah. Then that's when you start really hearing about stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So you do. I mean, and like I said, I don't want to discard or anyone else that doesn't, because you do. You have. I have friends who I have a friend around right now, Mexican American. That dude is like, yeah, y'all owe reparations straight up. Nah, that's just right. Nah, you owe. I mean, he'll tell you. Nah, nope. You need to take care of it. You need to take care of Black folks. Straight up tell you. So you got people out there who are out there. It's just that everybody needs to be helping us to achieve what we need to get, because if it benefits us, it's gonna benefit you. Yeah. Anything that benefits us is going to benefit you. Bottom line, you can just look through history.
It's going to open up the door. Yeah, it's going to open up the door for everybody else.
Yes, we've opened up doors. We always my family's blood and sweat and tears have opened doors for other groups. Yes, they have.
What do you say? What do you say against the people or the detractors that say when we I guess separate or divide or prioritize the ADOS people from the other groups
Black people
who have African blood, because a lot of people will say, okay, when you look at America, right? America gained their independence from Great Britain in what, like 1776 or something like that.
You mean white landowners?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. Let's be specific.
Let's keep it real. Huh? Yeah.
Be specific. Yeah.
Okay.
Because my ancestors were still enslaved. Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. So the whites of this country gained their independence from other white landowners. So, but us as people, us as ADOS, like you said, we were still in slavery many years later. So, when you see, I guess when you talk about they did I guess they did the numbers as far as like ADOS, the numbers that they get or like the statistics that they did of how it should be breaking down people should get. Did it start at the beginning of the American independence, or it went?
It starts. You know, it goes back to the first time the first slaves that hit the shores.
Okay, hit the shoreline. Okay.
Yeah, because you have to understand is that when you think of America, like America was established. America, it was a colony. It was a British colony.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So it's been going on since that. So. You know, it's one of those things where people are like, well, you know, you should be blaming Britain and saying, I mean, there are claims out there for that too. I mean, the fact that the UN came out and stated that yeah, y'all owe, I mean, that in itself is like, okay, but you know, America's like, yeah, we know we let's just say, I know it's like you had that homeboy, he know it owe you money, but he just holding it there and everything. He's like, I know I owe you, but you know what I mean? I still need you over here doing it. Yeah, that's it. That's America.
I'll pay you when I feel like it.
Yeah, that's the homie. Or if I want to, I mean, why you ask? I mean, yeah, you did it and everything, but why? I mean, you know what? I don't owe you nothing. I mean, why should I owe it? But that happened. You did that work a long time ago. That happened a long time ago. Everything is cool now. No, it's not.
Go get your money by getting another job.
Right. Go work for me and make
yeah. I got you.
Right.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Right, but going back to what Messiah was saying about the separation. Well. Because I had this conversation with a friend of mine, and he was saying, but you know, it's divisive, and I'm like, okay. I said, okay, then. So, question: Where are you originally from? He's like, well, I'm from Mexico. I was like, okay. Are you Honduran? No. Oh, okay. El Salvador? The Salvadorian? If I can call you Salvadorian? No. But you're still Hispanic, right? Yeah. Okay. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. So. Like even when you talk about from like Africa and other countries in Africa, I mean, Okay, you have Ghana, you have Namibia, you have Namibia, you have Ethiopia, you have Nigeria. They trust me. You don't go and say, hey, you don't tell a Nigerian person, hey, you call them Ghanaian. No, they all separate. And even within Nigeria, they distinguish themselves by different tribes. So, just keep it what it is. So, Caribbean. So you telling me where you from? Was it from the U.S. Not from Virgin Islands, but from
Haiti?
St. Croix, Haiti. Somebody. Do I call you Dominican?
Yeah, nah, it don't work like that.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
Are you Cuban? I'm Afro-Cuban. No, you black. But no, I'm sorry, you Mexican. No, you're not.
You're
so
right.
that's really it's about lineage, and all that's based on lineage. That's all that is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not divisive. It's just saying, hey, this is my lineage. This is our group. We are here. This is our history, and that's it.
I tell people, life has points of separations. That's it.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. Everybody have issues that they need to be attended to and actually need to be
right.
I guess you want to say giving reparations to a degree.
Right.
So I guess because some are so used to the ADOS being, how they always say we're so forgiving and so for everyone else and
turn the other cheek.
And man, don't turn the other cheek. Oh man, that religion, man. That's a whole nother show.
That's part 2.
A whole nother show. Really? Oh my God. That's a whole nother show. But no, you're right. I can still love you and treat you as my brother and still recognize that you're in pain or still help fight you. And see, that's the thing. That's why I don't understand, you have a conversation with somebody. It was like, I was having a conversation with a white guy, and he was like, we were just talking about it. He was like, so when you say reparations, so you trying to take what I have? I'm like, it's not about taking what you have at all. The government owes this. It's not you personally. But I think that's what happens a lot of times. They look at it as I've worked hard, I've done this. And in my mind, I'm like, but you also have white privilege too. You have a certain privilege that was afforded you to make this come. Now, it might not have been just directly here, this money, here you go, but you have people that look like you in positions of power and hiring who can give you a heads up, or who will be more willing to hire someone that looks like them to give you an opportunity. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? I've worked on jobs where you've had the higher ups who were predominantly white, non-black in the higher paid positions. And then those in the lower paid positions are out in the field where, black folks. Just call it what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Look at the structure.
Slavery, huh?
I'm not even gonna say it's modern day slavery. It's just another form of oppression. Real talk.
Yeah.
It's just another.
It's just restructured. It's restructured.
Yeah.
But it's still the same concept. We still out in the field, still out in the. It's the same concept though.
In a sense, yeah. But it's good though because there's so much information out there. Yeah. And you have groups out there like the ADOS Foundation, Yvette Cornell, and Tony Moore. You have a lot of people out there that are talking about it, and you're not going to get. I guess a lot of mainstream positive coverage of it.
Exactly.
Because if you do, it's kind of like in hip hop music. I grew up in a time where, we had, I'm not even saying negative, but your street rappers and all that. But you also had your De La Souls. You also had your Public Enemies. You also had your street. You had more, to me, again, this is me, more diversity on the radio or out there that, you can really hear some stuff versus what you're really getting today. Yeah. And I watched the trend of it. And, I'm like, I can't really listen. I don't even listen to the radio because I'm like, they're talking about the same exact thing, material of get this car, I got this book. I'm like, and it's crazy though, because I know people in the industry and a lot of that stuff that you see it's kind of like going to, it's a horrible example. It's like going to a certain club. It's a fantasy. It's a fantasy out there. It's a fantasy. Exactly. Selling you a dream to keep you in the matrix, man. Keep you in the matrix.
The Natrix.
Yeah, keep it in the That's right.
Yeah.
In the Natrix, that's right. Keep your mind. Yeah, it's like once you capture the mind, man, and the youth, it's kind of like, but
like conditioning.
Yes, sir. But and going back, like previously, we were talking about, money management. Some people, unfortunately, are conditioned or believe that if you're not making money or you're making strides in one kind of way, or it's the only way you can do it, then you're not doing anything. And change is the hardest thing for people. Change is scary.
Yes,
it's scary. It's scary. It can be, and I get that. If you think your whole life you've been doing whatever you've been doing, and this is what I'm supposed to be doing, or I'm told to do, and you turn around and figure out, or you're told that what you're doing is not right, or it's not working. That could really bother you. You know what I mean?
Most people going to push back to that. And
yes, sir.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yes, sir. You go catch me. You got to keep moving, and you just have to figure out what's best for you. And like I tell other groups, it's like other groups look at or prioritize themselves.
Yeah,
other groups prioritize themselves. Bottom line, all the groups prioritize. You can go anywhere you're not saying. You see certain sections, subdivision areas, business is priority. They prioritize themselves, their family, their business. I get it. Okay, so that's all we're doing. We're prioritizing ourselves.
Yeah,
that's all we're doing. We're prioritizing ourselves. Even in the Black community, again, going back to immigrants and going back to other groups. They prioritize. They had their own little, holidays and prioritize. Hey, what's best for our group? What's best for us? You have your little legs out there, AAPIs out there. You got that stuff out there.
I've seen, I'll scrolling down social media. Sometimes I've seen, let's just say, ADOS versus, I believe it's FBA. Is that what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
is that like? Are we talking like two totally different ends of the spectrum, or?
I think. And I don't know much about, because I ain't gonna lie, I listen to both of them.
Okay.
That's something that I don't know. I really don't know the details of it, so don't give me that. I would honestly, and that's if they want to talk about it, I would reach out to Antonio or Yvette about it. But it just seemed like it's some stuff that went on. I don't know the specifics of it, and everything. But I listen to both of them, and it's kind of like, in my opinion, it's that Malcolm versus Martin philosophy. Does that make any sense?
Okay, yeah. That's why I was really asking you, like, just to boil it down.
Yeah, I think
simplest form. Okay.
Right, but I don't know. Hey, I'm gonna go. I do not know.
Don't quote you. Right.
I know. Yeah, please don't, because I don't know. Again, this is me, on the outside talking to people, hearing stuff. Because I listen to everybody. I've listened to some, and they all. It's like, as I sit and I listen to them, I'm like, you saying the same thing. You really are. It's just different methods go to it. There's some rumors out there about it's just about money, or what are you organizing, or this and that, and even internally, I don't even. It just lets you know there's a lot that needs to be taken care of. But ultimately, when I listen to them, to me, they all seem like they're talking about the same thing. Personally, it's about us. It's about our history, and with this foundation, looking at the foundation, I think I'm more. Where am I looking for? Geared towards them, or because of what they're talking about in the organization and how the methodology and the numbers out there. Just understanding the racial wealth gap between whites and Black people, man. Just to look at that. Have you seen that chart?
Man, yeah.
Have you seen that?
Wow, it's crazy. The gap.
Yes. Wow. When you hear about the amount of money in a Black household versus a white household, the amount of money, how most of the wealth is held by baby boomers, and it's just like, are you, other Africans or Black people who come from other countries, and the wealth in their homes, it's crazy, and our people been here since the beginning of this country, and it's like we still let. I'm like, so it just lets you know there's something going on.
Yeah. Okay. I agree.
When you pretty much did your I guess your research or your investigation into what ADOS, or just informing yourself, did you come across any possible estimated figures that maybe the founders of that movement predicted or estimated that ADOS members would get, or it was just a base figure?
Yeah, if you go to the web page, it say right there, it say at the minimum, I read to you right now, it say at the minimum, the reparations package should prioritize cash payments totaling 17 to 20 trillion to American descendants of slavery. Together with targeted policies and protections, the redistributive measures will be ongoing and must remain in effect until at the very least the wealth gap between white Americans and ADOS is closed.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be ongoing, and that
was a collect.
That's a big number. Wow.
Okay, I would say,
yeah, that's the thing. It's not a one-time thing. It has to be. I mean, because the wealth gap didn't happen all of a sudden. It's like here's money, now you're good. That's not how it happened.
Exactly.
It's
generation.
Right.
Right,
and the quote, Yvette, it's about planting the seed, man. It's about planting the seed. It's about planting the seed. It's not you don't eat like she said, you don't eat the seed. You put the seed in the ground, let it grow.
Yeah,
and the bears the fruit. Our children, our children's children.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's what it's about. And that, I think that in itself, really drew me to it, because just listening to him and talking to him, it's like, wow, you really trying to do something. You're really trying to move. You really. And like anything else, any type of movement, there's going to be growing pains. Just out there. And that's anything else. I was talking to a friend of mine recently. I have a lot of conversations with people, and we were talking. And he was saying, yeah, but I don't really see anything what's going on. I was like, and again, any movement, it's like small cuts. You have to make small inroads. As you housekeeping, you still got to make small inroads. It's not everything. Every nail. I'm sorry. A push pin doesn't need a hammer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's true.
You have to make, and it's about, and the first stop is educate, man. Educate our people. Like you say, push and stop looking for stop looking to these athletes as role models. You know what I mean? Stop looking to these athletes for guidance. You know what I mean? That's a whole black athletes. That you're your own group. Bottom line, you're your own group. I get it. Okay, unless you are owning the team. I'm like, and I was looking at that, and I'm like, how many black football NFL team owners are there? And then you wonder, well, why aren't there any black NFL team owners? And it's like, well, the people got the money, and you hear story rumblings about somebody want to buy this, somebody want to do that, and like, why couldn't they do it? And that itself lets you know. I'm like, you know what I mean?
They can't have that.
We can't. No, we can't give that type of power. Oh no, we can't have this. And that in itself lets you know, because if the money is there, I don't see what the problem is. If it's about money, what's the problem?
Right.
And I think the only majority owner in basketball and football. I'm not going to speak on baseball. I don't really know about that. I know it's Michael Jordan, I believe. For whatever. I think the Hornets or whatever. But
and is he a majority? I don't think he's majority owner though. Is he?
I thought he was.
Hey, I was. I don't know. I don't know much about that. So do not quote me. I don't know.
Don't quote. Don't
come back on Twitter talking about, hey, you were talking about this. Hey, I don't know. I'm telling you now. Disclaimer, I don't know.
But the point is, it's not a lot of us.
It's definitely not a lot of us in those high places. Right. Yeah. It's we're not in the places that we need to be. The type of production that we give.
Exactly.
Yeah. And again, and all that goes back. Just I always think to myself, like, I wonder if we had got, and that's why you're going back to 17, 20 trillion. If you had given us what you're supposed to do for us, where would we be now?
Right.
Where would we be? You know what I mean? Where would we be? That's where these estimates are coming from. Yeah.
And that scares
them. Yeah, I think one answer will be Tulsa. I think.
Man,
we know what happened with that.
I'm gonna tell you why. You know what? And this is just me. This is just me being the scoundrel me.
The rat
of their minds.
Right.
I think if those snow people in high places that can make that happen with that type of money to give to us, they will literally be signing a line on their own extermination. And I think that's what they don't want to happen.
But here's the deal, boss. Why does selling the dead exterminate you though?
No,
why?
No, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it will, but I feel like that's what they think more than anything.
Yeah.
You know, because even with being a black man, right?
Yes.
With being a black man, and all that we're up against, and all that we go through,
right?
Still the most desired man next to a white man, just because he has the wealth gap between us.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing that makes them more desired than us is the wealth gap. So if you give us what we're due, if you give us what we're due, you think they have a problem going to sleep at night thinking that we gotta try to figure out how we're gonna repopulate the white race because we're like the numbers are going down? I think that's what they're afraid of.
Yeah, well, that's happening. I mean, that's
one
a
of the things.
Yeah, but that's a done deal. Hey, Rod, I just texted you a picture when you mentioned when you mentioned
oh wow,
Tulsa.
Yeah.
I just sent you something. So yeah, it's more than just Tulsa.
Way more.
Yeah, it's more than just Tulsa. Yeah. So yeah, it's a lot more than that.
Oh, I'm had to send that to boss. I'm had to send that to you, brother. It's
wow. You talking about the amount of prominence that we had as black people?
No.
Y'all send that to
Terrence. No, brother. The amount of massacres, because like I said, Tulsa is the one that came to my mind.
Oh no, man,
wow,
it's
a lot of
it's everywhere. Oh man,
and that was always my thing.
You'll be flicking your fingers.
Yeah. And that was my thing. My thing is this: like you told us, you know what, you were like, hey, we don't want you around us. Okay, we go now. Let you. Okay, so then we go out and we create our own stuff, and then with that kind of blow it up, like for real. Exactly. Like, are you serious?
And I think I think that kind of validates Messiah's point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we just had a little pocket, and y'all don't want to have that. Come on now.
Nothing, man. Nothing for you, man.
Yeah, nothing. Exactly. We want y'all at the bottom,
Yeah. And so and then you hear stories of, well, if we do this, it's like, well, what are they gonna do to us? I mean, it's like we treat them so badly, they're gonna come out and they're gonna try to take us out or something, they're gonna try to kill. It's like, it ain't even about all that, bro. What I mean? It has nothing to do with that. So, it's just little things like that. And honestly, it's the powers that be. It's this whole idea of you hate me so much, but you hate me because the powers that be, again, with those with the money and the power and everything, are telling you to hate me, and you don't even realize they screwing you too.
Yeah, exactly.
You see what I mean? They got you doing the dirty work. Like, they're basically saying, you know what? It's because of those people that you can be like us. Not telling them why they saying that. We're actively trying to keep you from getting it, because it's about aristocracy. I mean, blue blood. We can talk about royalty all day. You know what I mean? Hell, the Meghan Markle, Prince Harry thing.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Okay, wrap up this ADOS movement. We're gonna jump into you being an author.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So basically, I am a published children's book author. I currently have 7 books under my belt. I have 3 books for ages 5 to 10. It's called the Peanut Butter and Jam series of children's books, ages 5 to 10. And then I have early readers for ages 3 to 4. And so basically the way my books are set up is they're just based about relationships, about friendship, relationship. The main series is loosely based on me and my wife's life. And so our experiences with our animals, and I use animals, for just different situations. The first book is about, introduces Vern the cat and Bootsy, and then you go and you move on to the next book. You introduce some more characters and add more characters. And the way that I've written them is that it's like a stair step. So each book, I increase the amount of pages as well as the amount of vocabulary words. Because again, I believe, and I was taught, you read to add words to your vernacular and your vocabulary. Exactly. You don't just read words and understanding. Right. So that's what you do. So that's kind of what I do. And while we're on the camera, so I can show you what I do.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Show the people.
That's what I do. Yeah, show the people for the people.
Yeah, definitely, man.
So here it is. So this is book 1, The Story of Friendship. Okay. And then We have book 2, Lucy Gets a Sister, and these are my ages 5 to 10.
Okay.
And then book 3 is Angela Makes 3, and again, all on Amazon, Books a Million, Barnes Noble. And I was going to show you, man, I don't know if you can see it on the camera though, but basically, each book, if you look at it, each one gets a little bit thicker. So this, yeah. So that's what I do. So stair step, and then to show you that again vocabulary words. Let me see. So I've done. Where is it? So you might not be able to see this, but right here the word is highlighted.
Right.
In the purple. See where it says the word mood.
Mood. Yeah, mood. I see. Yeah.
Well, it's a glossary, so that's why I have a glossary. So each word that's highlighted, it's in the glossary in the back of the book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So
those are my ages.
Like a study reference.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So that's my ages 5 to 10. Now my ages 3 to 4, my emerging literacy readers. So, and again, there's basic word building. You know, you start out here.
Right.
You know, Burns a cat.
Yeah.
And then
okay.
Burns a cat with a hat.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. And then just continue until you get to the end of the story. Right. And then you also have, you know, again, Wade Gary, you know.
Exactly.
Okay.
And each word, and then I also have word lists. Hold on. Which is going to be here. So words, the blends that were used in the book.
Okay.
Sorry, on my fingers.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And then right, and then you have coloring pictures. So the kids want to color. They can color. So I have coloring. So all the characters that are in the book, and there are four of these right now.
Right. So where did you get the idea for peanut butter and jam for your collection?
Yeah.
Real talk. It's about relationship. It's real simple. It's real simple. You think about peanuts, like, okay, well, I like everybody like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, right? Peanut butter, I like jam. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's about relationship. It's basically, you know, peanut butter is great, but what makes it even better when you add some jam to it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Really that's basically what it came up with, and it was kids.
What was the point in your life, or when did you come across this ideal of? Because to me, you're an educator of some sort. Am I
former educator, former teacher? Yes, sir.
Okay, so now it's unfolded now. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're a former educator.
Yeah, I was certified EC4, which is early childhood 4th grade. I taught special ed. I've taught junior high school. I've taught high school, and I've taught college and career planning.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. How long did you teach?
I was in the educational system. Let me see, Navy, probably from '96 to like 2007. Wow. I started out. I actually started out working for TIER, which is part of HIC. Basically, was working with children who had been in traumatic accidents, and so they can't go to school like regular kids. So we would go into the hospitals and work with them. And then I worked with autistic children. So I dealt with different spectrums of autism. Then I went into the financial section where I worked in budget and finance. So I got a chance to see where the money was being generated from. And then I went and got my degree and went into the classroom and kind of see how that was. And just taught early childhood. I did early childhood because I believe that, when you're working in the industry or you're working in it and you're looking at these kids, I'm like, these kids can't read. Where is the disconnect at?
Yeah.
So that's why I went into early childhood, because I wanted to get that work on that solid foundation. So I taught phonics.
And
I just looked at how I learned. I mean, with the glossary thing, when I was growing up, my parents, I read a book or something, and my parents, I would ask them like, hey, what does this mean? And back we had, in the old days, when you used to have like, encyclopedia sets and all that stuff like that. You had the dictionary.
Wow.
Yeah. Right. My parents would be like, go look it up. So that's kind of what I would do. I would go look it up and get a better understanding and understanding context, understanding how to define words in context. And I just was realizing, having sons, I have my youngest is 16-year-old. He's 16 years old, and working with him, I just realized that a lot of the concepts and things that kind of helped me learn and helped me be successful, they've gotten away. They were getting away from. So I don't know if you guys remember when they were doing this whole push for science, technology, engineering, man, the whole STEM thing. And they were getting rid of the art. And if they took the art out of it. Now it's called STEAM. Yeah. Because they're bringing the art back. And I initially was like, this is stupid, because what you're doing is that you're taking away the creativity. We're talking about theoretical problems then that you have to be able to think outside the box. Yeah. In order to achieve to come up with formulas and come up with theories and problems that haven't even been invented yet. You have to be able to create that. Right. Well, if you're just focusing on one thing and one tangible thing, then you can't do that. So I used to tell people all the time, the tests and all that, you're creating standardized thinkers. And I don't know if you guys run, but you probably run to people who are younger, and you're probably a concept for them that will probably be easy for you to understand. Yeah. They don't understand. It's like something basic as, well, if you can't find the answer there, try another source. It's kind of like, if I don't have the answer there, it's just like, well, it just doesn't exist. I'm like,
exactly.
And so that's kind of, and it's not being taught. I mean, we're always taught to research and look beyond, but unfortunately, just everybody gets a trophy, or you get accolades for just trying culture.
We haven't the to troubleshoot, or like you said, that's not being taught.
Yeah, it's not. And honestly, I don't want to put too much on the school, because I believe as parents, it's our responsibility to prepare our kids for life.
Very true.
You know what I mean? True. And again, other cultures do it. They don't just depend on the school to teach them what they need. You know what I mean? They don't just depend on the school to make sure that they have an individual that's ready for society, a functioning individual in society. It's for us. And so, I would talk, even when it came to reading, because I focus mainly on reading, I would talk to parents, and I'm like, well, you need to read, you need to read, you need to read. And then schools you always hear in the schools, hey, you need to pick a book, read a book. Okay, that's cool. But you're just dealing with one aspect of the equation. Yeah. How are you conveying that to the parent to encourage that? Because the child, you're the first person the child looks up to every day.
Oh yeah.
You see what I mean? So if you're not encouraging the parent to do it, and the parent is not a reader, the child's not gonna do it, because you only have the kids maybe 7.5 hours a day, if that. Yeah. So I can tell you all day to do that, and this is what you should do. But if it's not being encouraged or being backed up from the parent, it's not going to stick. And that's like anything else out there.
Yeah, it's definitely parent. It's definitely parent initiative that needs to be taken. The sad thing about it is, and I know, just coming from like small country towns in the city, you just had so many undereducated parents that became parents. True.
This is true.
So I know I can remember from early as like second grade, like my wife would ask me all the time, who would help you with my homework? And I'm like, I have to get it at school, because if I didn't get it, I wasn't gonna get it.
It wasn't gonna get done, huh, bro?
It wasn't gonna get done. I had to get it, and unfortunately, that's a lot of kids' situation. Like, they have to get it, and as a parent, like, you have to think. You have to think what makes you wake up in the morning and think, okay, well, the school's supposed to do this, supposed to do this. But where do you come in and think, let me make sure they really understand?
Yeah.
And go ahead.
No.
And I think, going back, because we don't know all situations, and you have a lot of parents, like I say, undereducated, working these 12-hour job shifts or whatever for little or nothing. So you get a lot of latchkey kids. Like, I was a latchkey kid. You know what I mean? The way I grew up, get up in the morning, fix your stuff. You go home, I walk home, make sure I'm in the house. I got my snack, no TV, do my homework, and I had to do that. Because my parents were working as well. So I totally, completely 125%. And I do believe the schools can do a heck of a lot more to help. But again, schools are mostly funded by property taxes and low income, and different schools, and then you're talking about different jobs and opportunities, white collar
pay wages and everything.
Yes, sir.
And then on top of that, a lot of these, like I said, a lot of these educators have their own family. So
very true.
And you get some out there, it's just a check for me, because that's one of the things, even with me, one of the reasons I kind of got education, because I just saw it trending down. I just saw how it was, and me in good faith.
Yeah.
In good faith, I could not actively contribute to the miseducation of our kids. I was like, nah, I can't do that.
Well, I had to get on one of my son's teachers, me and my wife, and it snowballed because it went from me and my wife, then it went to my wife's grandmother, and it's just like everybody just started raining at this school to where we actually
the village
came, and we actually had to move our kids to a different school because like it was so many educators that would tell these kids, like, like, and I get it, and it may be something of habit, like you said, but just because it's something of habit, you could be doing the wrong thing for so long that it seems right and it's not right.
Yes.
So when you will see these educators look at these kids and they'll be like, oh, I got my education, so you can do whatever you want. I got I'm good. Like and I would think, what will make you? It's true, you do have your education, but what will make? Because if the kid don't understand anything else, that statement sometimes make a kid understand. Dang, it's just a check to them. They understand that, So I would be like, what will make you vocalize that?
I think
you're frustrated and things of that nature, and and sometimes
I think it's kind of hard because you got to think about it as an educator, right? It's kind of like you have to help the children,
exactly,
but at the same time you got this principal who is asking for you to do something or whatever. Then the principal has the superintendent over them and in the district. So it's a lot of bottom line is this. And this is what I think. I honestly think kids should go to school year round. Okay. Go to school year round. It decreases the amount of time they have to spend in the classroom and decrease the amount of information you're trying to get to them at one time. Okay. The whole idea of chunking information, and then stop putting so much worth into the standardized test. Involve the parents more in the process. You know what I mean? Allow, and when I say allow the parents more in the sense of push it out there, but at the same time, parents too have to also want to be involved as well. It shouldn't be a struggle. Like even me as a parent, keeping in with my son and staying in his involved in his education as much as I was. I mean, to hear, oh, I wish we had more fathers like you, or more men, and this, that, and the other. And in my mind, I'm like, what does that even mean? You know what I mean? But it's a foreign concept, or I would catch pushback because I can challenge you, or I can challenge you on what you're doing, how you're teaching the kid, versus the average parent who hasn't been in the system or doesn't understand or not looking at it. So now you get some educators like, oh, I encourage you. Yes, most definitely.
Right.
That I love that team concept. You got like kind of like what you probably were saying, boss. You got teachers like, what's what I've been doing, and who are you to question how I'm teaching these kids? I've been doing this for this long. So I've dealt with both, and it ain't been just white, been black, it's been different one. It's this whole idea of, and I think and I'm gonna share the story with you guys. I remember I was having a meeting I'll never forget. I was having a meeting with this principal and the assistant principal, because I guess the teacher didn't want to meet me because I would ask in-depth questions. And I guess she went to the principal and they were like, they wanted to meet. But anyway, make a long story short, I'll never forget. We were sitting in the meeting and they were like, well, I think your son's feelings and this and I'm like, hold on. I said, who in here has a degree in psychology? Raise your hand. And I raised my hand. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. So you can't psychoanalyze any. If anybody is qualified to psychoanalyze anybody, is me.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Wow. So I mean, we can do that if you want to go there. You see what I'm saying? Or even dealing with, I'll never forget, because even my son will probably tell you, during the summer, we still did work. Now, it wasn't all day, every day, but we still had lessons.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because they will lose. A lot of times, people don't realize when these kids come back from summer, you spend maybe the first few weeks reteaching or reviewing what they learned last year. Yeah.
Right.
Do a lot of that. Yeah. People don't get that.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to understand. So, telling parents like I said, it's just, you have to want your child to do better than you.
Yeah,
exactly. You have to want to do it.
Yeah,
and I really do believe a lot of parents do want that. But again, I gotta pay these bills too.
Yeah, yeah.
I gotta make sure my kid has so much say, which is why I'm very much very much an advocate for the village concept. That like we can.
Yes.
I don't necessarily have to be related to you to look out for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we've gotten away from that. I mean, it's
very
just
far, very far away from that. We speak about that all the time.
Yeah.
We speak about that all the time.
Yeah,
like I remember used to getting off the bus and being questioned by people who wasn't my parents.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
About a test that they knew that we took
because
their child took the test the same day. And it's like,
right.
you see, you know, like the village concept. Yeah. I mean,
we because it's this whole. But again, going back to this whole thing, you can't tell. You're independent. I'm independent. You can't tell me what to do. I know how to do. I'm like, come on, bro. And I'm gonna
collection of individuals.
Yes, and that is how this country is. It's a collection of individual states. You know, nobody's got. Right. But yeah, no, it's just one thing. And you know, I'm very much as a parent. I'll tell anybody. I guess I'm lucky that I had all boys. I don't have any girls, but I have nieces, so I know it's like. But I can't raise a woman. I've never been one. Right. I can't raise, but I can put you around other women that can help raise you. Just like a woman cannot raise a man to be raise a woman to be a woman, a man to be a boy to be a man. Right. You've never been a man. You don't know what it's like to be a man. Right. So you need to put your son in spaces around other men, and don't just, I guess, put them around just a certain kind of group. You need about diversity. You know, we're not monolithic, man. You know, you sitting there, boss, with the beard. You got your hair. I got the. I mean, it's just different. We come from different areas. You know, that's why you know, going to the barbershops. I mean, just that whole idea of going to the barbershop and just having a conversation, man.
Oh yeah.
Talking about what's going on. Hey man, what's going on? And just throwing ideas. That's one thing I do miss. I do miss going to the barbershop because I don't have to go to the bar because my locks and everything. And I have like a private barber that I go to. Yeah, stylist I go to, but I mean, I still had these conversations. I still talk. These comments, like again, I appreciate you guys even having me on so we can have this conversation about this and everything. Because granted, before everything, I'm still a black man before everything else. I mean,
exactly. That's first thing that they see.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I can't take this out. It's for hey, how is this person coming off? And you know, I tell people all the time, I'm stopping, but going back to the Simone Biles thing. You know, I was talking to somebody. I was like, as a black man in America, it's like I know for a fact, if I walk outside this house, it's a good chance I won't make it back.
Right.
We deal with that stress every day. Honestly, there needs to be a study about PTSD in our group, you know, because every single day, you know, you deal with that concept, and it's not by me saying I'm going to go out and do anything, just my being, my existence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So those are things, you know, that we look at. So when we talk about Simone Biles, when she was talking about, you know, mental health, and to hear people say, well, she's this and that, and you're getting all these people that are weighing in on it. Hey, you celebrity, so you're looking for clicks. I get it. Okay, so you want people, you saying something controversial. You following the Howard Stern methodology. Any press is good press, regardless of it bad. I get it. Whatever. I ain't tripping off that. But to hear other people, like regular people like you and me that are working, have done something, and be like, well, you know, she's an athlete and she should this. And I'm like, but you don't understand what we have to deal with on a regular basis. And she probably doesn't even have to deal with it, but just the concept of being like she's 24 years old and you putting the whole country on her back. 24.
Yeah.
At 24 years old, the nation. Hey, you're representing the nation.
And they think because she got it done at an earlier age.
Yes.
It should be no pressure now that she's older.
Right, you got it done.
It's new expectations now. When you know, like I tell people all day, she came in the first time around and she was just hoping to be to perform good and make good staples. So this second go around, this type of pressure where everybody's expecting you to go out there and kill it, that's a different type of pressure.
It's another level.
It's the same thing with me being an author, writing these books.
Right.
It's like I have to. My fear is always, will they like the next one?
Yeah.
Will they like the next one? I've just been fortunate enough to that every single book they're like, this is each book, because they're supposed to get better, right? The art and everything. So you know, it's out there. So I understand, you know, what you're doing. I mean, because sometimes even with social media, your psyche. I have to unplug. I have to unplug sometimes.
You got
because
to.
it can mess with your head space.
You got to. Yeah.
And being able to deal with it. It's like, nah, I can't. I don't have time for this energy to. Well, I'm not saying I don't have time for it, but let me pull back, get a little bit. Let me look at this a little bit different, and then come back and come back to it.
Yeah, try to get different perspective.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And that's what you have to do. And again, that comes with wisdom. My grandmother will tell you, again, 96 on the 20th of September. I talk to her every week, and she'll tell you, even at her age, I don't know everything.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm still learning. And for someone that age to be like, I'm still learning, who am I to act like I know everything?
That's
like,
true.
you 96. You know what I mean? You 96 years old, and you're still saying you're learning. You're still saying, hey, this is what's going on. So, I mean, shit, I'm always open to learn.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Natrix Davis, we would like to thank you for coming on to the show. This is what we're getting ready to wrap it up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, gentlemen.
Can you tell the people where can they get in touch with you?
Okay, so check this out. Yeah. Okay, so again, Peanut Butter and Jam, series of children's books for ages 5 to 10 and ages 3 to 4. Lulu.com, Barnes & Noble, Amazon. If you're in Houston or whatever, and you see me, come at me. I always keep copies on myself. And the beauty of it is that if you come and you get one from me, I'll actually autograph it for you. So I'll personalize it for you. If you see me, say, hey, let's get a book, whatever. Reach out to me. I'm on all the social media. You guys have all my social media information if you want to post that, right?
I got your Twitter.
Oh, the link. Okay, so that link tree, that link tree link.
Yeah. Okay.
Everything is on that. Has everything. So I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Funny video. I do TikTok videos. They fun. They're hilarious.
I'm gonna check you out.
I'm on TikTok too. Yeah. Just like I say, just hit that link tree. But I give you a name on Facebook. It's Peanut Butter and Jam. On Instagram, it's Peanut Butter and Jam 2017. On Twitter, PB and ANDJ 2017. On TikTok at PB Jam Tales, spelled TAILS. Okay, 2017. Yes, sir. That's it. Yeah, TAILS. Yes. Again, it's on that link tree. And I also do a podcast where every Friday I drop a new story, and it involves characters from the series. So every Friday at 9 a.m. I drop a new short story. So again, just keep it out there. So there are multiple ways for you to get that Peanut Butter Jam. And I tell everybody, please subscribe.
What's the name of your podcast?
The Peanut Butter and Jam Podcast.
Okay. So Peanut Butter and Jam Podcast. Hey,
like that. The Peanut Butter and Jam Podcast.
All the parents, the Peanut Butter and Jam Podcast. If you want your kids to be read a story before they go to sleep or something of that nature,
something.
Podcast.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And on my YouTube channel, again, which is in that link tree, I actually have 3 of the stories, 3 videos where I actually read the first 3 early readers, which are going to be these right here. I read these. So I read 1, 3.
Okay.
2. Is that 2? Yeah, 2. I'm sorry. 2 and then 1. So I actually read those. Plus I have 4 independent stories on there too. As well. Again, short stories. I mean, just as trying to get as much stuff or much info I can out there for the parents. I know sometimes the parents, you trying to come up with creative ways of things for your kids. I got you.
Yeah. And this is what we go for parents who will be listening to the podcast. This is what we mean when we talk about village. The village doesn't necessarily have to be your family. Yeah. It can be someone who just puts out good content. Who puts out good work, who puts out good educational things for your kid to watch and engage in it. That's a village. It may be an indirect part and not so directly, but it's still a village. Yeah. So instead of our video games, hey.
Yeah, I got you.
Peanut Butter and Jelly podcast.
Yeah, get you some peanut butter and jam.
Peanut butter and jam. Peanut butter and jam.
Peanut butter and jam.
No, you're fine. It's funny because they were like peanut butter jelly. You know, it's the running joke. Peanut butter jelly. I'm like, I'm still doing that, huh? You know what I mean? Yeah. No, you're fine. No, and that's the thing. And I even did a Mother's Day video too on my YouTube channel. So again, check it out. And looking at, and again, the beauty of it is that the human characters look like you and me. So when you see a human character, you're able to see yourself. And that's kind of the whole with the concept when it came to that. That's why I based it loosely on me and my wife's life, because it's about imagery. It's about we want to be seen. And I'm not an athlete. I'm not running up and down the field. I'm not
rapping.
Shooting the hoop. Yeah, I'm not rapping. I mean, I got balls if I need them. I got balls if I need them, but I'm good.
To, right? Yeah. Okay, so this is the part of the show before we come to the end. It's called Paul Encouragement. And what it is just the encouragement of the podcast. Now, me and Rod normally, like, we got so many of these Paul encouragement segments that we have so many of them. With this, when we have a guest on, we will allow our guests to give their encouraging tip of whatever they want to say to encourage the people.
Yes.
Before we shut down the podcast. And so if you got anything or a few things that you might want to say of encouragement for the listeners or kids, anybody, this is your chance to put it in the air.
I mean, one of the biggest things I will tell anybody: never stop learning. Okay, never stop learning. Never give up. Keep moving forward. Never backwards. Keep moving forward. Nothing's gonna be perfect. There are gonna always be issues. It's not how the issue breaks you down, but how you deal with the issue. Okay, it's how you take it. Just keep moving. You know what I mean? And we're all human beings. We're all gonna make mistakes. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's it. That's all I have.
Man,
that helps.
It does. It does. Man, we definitely appreciate you coming. We definitely appreciate you coming.
So we like to appreciate you for coming on. We definitely like to do this again.
Thank you.
We definitely have to do it again, brother.
Hopefully we'll catch you on a more settled circumstances. But
this is fine, man. This is great energy, man. I love this energy. This is cool. This is all right, brothers. Whenever, man. Whenever you want to talk, just hit me up. You got my information. Hit me up.
I got you.
Hit me up.
Yeah,
most definitely.
So this is Quality Life Podcast. This is episode 32 with Mr. Natrix Davis.
Thank you.
Extend this relationship and extend this to a little bit more off camera.
Sir.
Like, thank everybody for tuning in, and trust me, you'll see Mr. Davis on the show again.
You're gonna see him again, man.
See him again,
man. Mr. Davis got me hungry, man. I'm about to go get me some peanut butter and jam, man.
Peanut butter and jam, that's right. Peanut butter and jam, PB&J.
All righty, guys. Thank you for checking in.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the conversation, brothers. Thank you.